speaks to me like a movie. I'm feeling ecstasy, my heart screams. It is a place to be so tempting. We're pushing up to the limit. When Susie says she's never been alive, I don't at last, a lot of spark. Tonight, can't get enough, I got it fast. She takes her time and she blows her mind. When Susie says she's never been alive, the fever's hot, the pressure starts to rise. Can't get enough, I got it bad. So dangerous when we're on the run. Baby, when love won't last, I got a feeling to make it fast. Won't you live fast, down hard? We're straight up to the top, and my baby's been bad. My body should just stop to burn it. Won't you live fast, down hard? It's a sexy confident down when we make it. We can make it. Oh, oh. Won't you live fast, down hard? We're straight up to the top, and my baby's been bad.
All right, is it not focusing? It is not focusing. Of course, I get a weird. There we go. Now it seems it won't work. All right, I'm back. Well, let's get started. I'm in the mood for let's do some Doom. Doom episode 1, Doom 1, Ultraviolence. Get started. Making sure my live stream is right here. Okay. All right. Oh wow. Hey, what's going on, Spanky? It's starting to auto-generate my my commentary. This should be interesting. So this is gonna start looking a little familiar to you soon, right? Hey, what's going on? Gonna do a quick stream. Probably gonna head out here about midnight, maybe 1 o'clock. Gave a crash course in this level, not or this in this difficulty not too long ago. Hope so. It's probably the most legendary level in Doom. E1M1. Oh right, I should order some new controllers like right now. Yeah. This is the one with the weird R2. Hey, what's up, Poopy? What's up, man? Not too much. Just kind of day by day shaking off this long haul crap. But yeah, not doing too bad. Feeling better than I did the week before. So I think this booster is really working. You know, killing time helping my buddies in the Baltimore City Health Department out. Maybe I'll have a show where like I take on all people like that disagree with me on like a topic and like debate them. Hey, what's up? I actually watched that years ago. Martin Shkreli, that guy, aka Farmer Bro. I gotta give him credit. You know, he really played at the villain angle pretty well. He had a Periscope thing where if anyone really hated him, like really hated the dude, he would openly debate them on his show and like completely act like a WWF villain. So anyways, yeah, it'd be kind of fun to do that. Been having a lot of fun, just, well, maybe too much fun fighting a lot of the anti-science people. It's like an addiction now. They're just so relentless. All because they're scared of needles. But yeah, how you guys doing? I'm glad you feel that way, buddy. It gets a little awkward when a pretty significant follower of mine ends up being like that. Like, I'm usually not big on being too divisive with, you know, who supports me, but that's something a little different. Like, I mean, I always respect those that support my work. It means a lot. However, that does not give you a license to spout a bunch of misinformation that could potentially get people killed. Like that's where I draw the line. Like I'll counter you on it. And there was an issue like that not too long ago, and it got pretty irritating. There's one guy who I never really got I always kind of got some weird vibes from, and a lot of people in the community started kind of warning me about him. And I usually try. My policy is usually like, dude, I got to talk to them. I got to chill with them. Um, and like because there has to be a level like, yeah, you want to listen to your friends. Someone's like toxic, but like for me, it's like, dude, I know I've managed bands for years, and like when you're the guy that has to fire people and stuff and make the tough decisions, I know there are people out there that I'm the villain of their story. So I always try to like be patient about that. But this is a guy where it's like I just started seeing things kind of popping up, and I bought stuff for my bands and stuff, and I really appreciated it. But like, there was a post in this doctor about the vaccines, and he started arguing that they didn't prevent. I think it was they didn't prevent the spread, and I countered him, and I said, hey, no, that's actually not the case, and I showed. I don't just like I try to have like the data to back it up. Like I have a link. I always have like sources, and like that's not the case. According to this, take a look. Like there's no evidence that they don't prevent spread. Like, think about it. If you're going to be symptomatic for less time, like sneezing and coughing all over the place, of course you're going to spread less of the virus. Just think of the mechanism. So I tried to argue that, and he had some, like, quote-unquote counter sources, but it was obvious, like, I think that there was, like, one he shared. And I just, I took the time to read it, and it was quite clear that the conclusion, the conclusion he came to was only because he read the headline. And if the article, if you actually were to be thorough, the article actually backs up my stance. It actually is pro vaccine, and I showed parts of his own article to him, and I was like, dude, like even this is disagreeing with you. Like you're trying to tell a doctor these life-saving vaccines don't work. And I was a little annoyed about the fact that he kept trying to like deflect at that point. He kept saying things like, "Oh, well, I want to end this topic now." Like again, I'm being thorough. I'm reading what he's saying. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, and because at the end of the day, I'm not afraid of I'm not afraid of having my stances scrutinized. Like I'm confident in how I feel about this, and what I know so far is to be the accurate science, which is always evolving, but. I'm not afraid to compare it with somebody else's conclusions, provided the person's making a debate in good faith. And he was not making a debate in good faith. So, anyways, he started saying, I want to end this topic now. And I'm like, dude, like, you don't just have the magical ability to end this. Like, this is on a public thread, with a doctor here. Like, my job in this thread right here is to make sure that this is countered with better data. Like, my enemy here is the virus, not your feelings. And that really got him furious when I was like, dude, like, your feelings are, for lack of a better phrase here, your feelings really aren't relevant when it comes to the pandemic. I just don't, like, I don't care. Like, I'm not here to talk about your feelings. I'm here to talk. Okay, do we have a glitch? Yeah, and so, like, yeah, he's trying to retreat. And, okay, I'm just gonna do this. Thanks, guys. And now it goes up. So, yeah. And so I pushed him on it, because I was like, no, you're not gonna do this. Like, I got annoyed. I'm like, dude, he was so aggressive about this when there was no one to challenge him, and then all of a sudden someone's challenging him, being thorough and trying to be as concise as possible about it. Yeah, I did get a little short with him. I'm like, dude, like your feelings really don't matter that much here, dude. And he started to like bring up anecdotes and stuff. Wait, did I just find a glitch? Fun. It's gone now. Okay, you can see the playback. It was the bottom right of the screen. A little glitch. Okay, there's a guy right here. He needed to come up. Dude, yeah, like I had a, I mean, had a suspected case of it. Back at the beginning of the pandemic, back when everything was swamped, I was able to teach from home, and so I just isolated. You know, I just stayed home the whole time, and I had symptoms that were pretty consistent with it, and my body was never really the same since. Like I had a terrible long haul. And so anyways, he was trying to talk about his feelings, right? He's like, "Oh, my feelings, this is this." And I told him, I was like, "Dude, I really don't care about your feelings here. Like, the worst thing that's gonna happen to you is you're gonna be wrong in an internet debate. You know, the worst thing that's happening to everybody else is you're gonna spread more BS. It's gonna get more people sick." And I told him, I was like, "If you want to talk about anecdotes and feelings, you know what bothers my feelings? Being, having my mental acuity, my strength, my energy sapped from me because of long haul. And by the way, you can catch it again even if you have these annoying long haul symptoms. And to obsess like for months and months and months about ways to get over this problem, and then to have someone that I personally know just gallivanting around on Twitter from the safety of his keyboard, just going on and on about the vaccines don't really work, this is this, and correct the actual details about it. But anyways, he started going. One of his criticisms was so funny. He was saying that, like, he got upset that I had multiple responses to one of his comments, because Twitter has a character limit. And he's like, "Dude, you had 3 responses to this." And it's like, do you want me to sum up a respiratory disease that you're trying to downplay in, what, 2 sentences? Like, I'm going to have some points to make. Like, it's not likely going to be that quick. I know, your entire argument can be summed up in probably a sentence, which is vaccine bad. But there's more to it, there's nuance to this stuff. Hold on, I got a phone call coming through. Let me be right back.
To swear, but you want to be another pretty face. No, I can't speak. Fate is killing me, but you makes me. I'm pushing up to the limit. When Susie says she's never been a lot at the net last, a lot at spark. Tonight, get enough, I got it bad. She takes her time and she blows her mind. When Susie says she's never been a lot, the fever's hot, the pressure starts to rise. Can't get enough, I got it bad. So dangerous when we're on the phone. Baby, when love won't last, I got a feeling to make it fast. Won't you live fast, down hard? When we're straight up to the top, and my baby's been bad, my body, she just stopped up on it. Won't you live fast, down hard? It's a sexy confidant, let me make it. Could you fake it? Oh, yeah. So sweet, when she speaks to me like a movie, I feel an ecstasy.
Alright, back. All good. But yeah, so like it hit a fever pitch with that dude, and like again, every time he would try to like make an argument, either again his own source would disagree with him because he didn't read it, or he would just retreat from the point. And it's like, dude, do you understand what you're doing with these kinds of comments? Like, I know, like I got enough of the sense of the dude. Like he's got a lot of insecurities. More importantly, he's one of those kind of victim narcissists. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna diagnose anybody. I'm saying like it seems like one of the victim narcissist kind of people, where like everyone's victimizing this person. Like he was saying that like because I'm responding on this public thread where again he's trying to tell a doctor vaccines don't work for COVID, that I'm now harassing him. And it's like, well, guess what? You're harassing these doctors. Okay? So I don't know what you want me to do. I'm not calling you names. I think the worst thing I said was your feelings aren't relevant. I was like, nobody cares about them here, dude. Like people care about the virus. They care about, the pandemic. If it hurts your feelings to have a debate about this, then you probably should get off Twitter. And that really got him mad. I was like, no, I said, if this is bothering you so much, you should probably delete the thread because I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to make sure that the last word in this thread is the accurate science about this, not your opinion or what you learned on, or what you learned about on YouTube. I don't care because so far, again, you've made it obvious you can't even read our news article past the headline, which you're misinterpreting. So anyways, yeah, there's ways to do it, and there are ways to get through to them. It really depends on how off the deep end they are. This guy, I thought I might have been able to, just because he was a big supporter of mine. I mean, big. I mean, he bought, Throw Killer stuff, Mechatronics and stuff, which I really appreciated. But that doesn't give you a license. Like I have to draw the line here. Like I've had one serious case in my family. That's it, and that was before vaccines existed. I'm lucky. Because some of my bandmates, they have not had family that have been that lucky. They've lost family members to this virus, and it's just enraging to see that sometimes because it was so blatantly narcissistic that he was completely unaware. Like, he completely lacked self-awareness, and then he was trying to like lie in some thread saying that I deleted the thread, which no, it's completely up. And anyone can view this as far as I'm aware, unless the original doctor took it down. But yeah, so like he tried to say that. He tried to say like one of my favorite parts. He said he was making his long haul issues more important than my feelings. It's like, well, I mean, the topic is about COVID-19. I don't really care about your feelings, man. You know what else doesn't care about your feelings? The worst pandemic in 100 years, like at least. I don't think it'll be as bad as Spanish flu, but we're never gonna find out. We're not gonna find out until the excess death date is counted. But I tried to reason that with him. I'm like, dude, I'll hear you out and stuff, like whatever. But once we start trying to spread nonsense that's gonna get more people killed, I'm not interested. You're either gonna hear me out or that's it. So when he said like I'm being harassed right now, boo, I blocked him on all my accounts. I'm not gonna entertain that. At that point, it was like, this dude's just a raging narcissist. Like, that's insane. Oh, no, I just died. How did I... Oh... Okay, that's what I get for talking. That's the first time I've died there in forever. Ooh. Hey, Jillian. But anyways, appreciate that, Bill Pete. I know I've definitely alienated a few people in music, and maybe unfortunately a few fans, which really does bug me. I'm pretty confident I've lost some potential students too, just because they've seen how defensive I am about science. Not really defensive, but like, I don't really compromise on those points. Like, I'll listen to what your argument is, provided you're making it in good faith, and you've done some homework. But as far as I go, yeah, she had a rough day. Poor thing. Doing this with pistols, no fun. I see you going. But yeah, there's a chunk of the Baltimore music community that I know they're not very happy with me anymore because they were all aggressive about, a bunch of they were like anti-vax, anti-mask at the beginning of the pandemic, where like all we had were masks and social distancing, and they were just completely against it. And I would ask them like, where are you getting these ideas from? Like, what, where'd you get it from? And it would always be like, well, I just feel it's getting, I feel this is happening. And it's like, well, I don't care what you feel. What are you, psychic? Like, no one gives a shit what you feel, dude. I don't care what you feel. Your feelings are irrelevant. Hey, Jillian. All right. My favorite was him reciting that part. Yeah. That's why I tried to say. I was like, what hurt my feelings was suffering from this for over a year, That hurt my feelings that I had to build, an EP, and a full-length solo album and all this stuff while dealing with insane brain fog and lethargy and all my energy was just destroyed. Like I could not function like I used to. And so I'm doing all that. I guess my feelings were hurt. I guess my feeling. But yeah, I tried to word it that way. He didn't like it because I guess they think that once you bring up the feelings card, like the discussion just implodes. No, that's not a get out of debate card. I really don't care about your feelings at all. No one should, at least in this specific topic. Yeah, that guy better cover what he did. Great question. It's tough to say. I did not watch the Neverland leaving. I actually have not read up much on that case. Now, I will say it's tough to say. Yes, you're correct. Get some honest. Yeah, I don't even have a very strong opinion about it. I will say that it was a little suspicious that the two big accusers from leaving Neverland had already, spoken under oath in defense of Michael Jackson. I feel that at that point, your testimony is, if you try to say anything else did happen after making that kind of a statement on the stand, you really can't be trusted. I think he could have gotten away with something pretty bad. Or you're dealing with someone who had some serious problems because of a very troubled childhood, being turned into a child star before he even reached the age of puberty. What he did, like what we can verify, like the things he did do, like, having kids in his bed and stuff like that, it's verifiably wrong. No doubt about that. It's really, what it boils down to is like, what else happens? So, like, none of that was appropriate anyway. There's no real way to justify any of that. Could things have happened? I suppose. I mean, I read that there was a lot of evidence and people that accused him that they were actually serial accusers. Like, they would, steal stuff and then accuse, like, security of doing things to them and stuff. So I don't know enough to make a good opinion about it. I think Michael's in a weird position because he is an artist that his influence is completely undeniable. Like it's so hard to appreciate pop culture and not acknowledge Michael Jackson. Like, yeah, Michael works his way into a lot of my writing, but I don't seek out a lot of like specific things to take from Michael. I studied his technique. That all started back when I had to recreate his work years ago. And I found that for my natural pop habits, they seem to work well tonally. Like I just happen to end up liking that way. But there never was a song of mine where I was like, I want this to sound like blank. I mean, there have been guys that have done that in synthwave. I'm not gonna name names, but there was like one where I was like, dude, this just sounds like this sounds like we have wannabe starting something at home. Like, that's the best way to describe it. It's like, this sounds like a very similar beat. Vocals are just bleh, want to be starting something. Yeah, like it's just like, oh god. No, thank you. But yeah, I hated that. There's also maybe a cover to that I was infuriated by. The worst is probably Thriller. Sorry. I like a lot of Clayton's other stuff with Scandroid, but god, he should not have done Thriller. 'Cause this is Thriller. Thrill of Run. I mean, it's not quite that bad, but like, you cannot cut corners on the Michael Jackson part of Michael Jackson. He tuned it down a bunch, and like the little things Michael did on that were just completely gutted. That just going at the wall. 'Cause this is Thriller. Yeah. Like, that's how it sounds when I hear sometimes when MJ's like, when his nuances are missed. It's like someone trying to do like Yngwie Malmsteen or like Eddie Van Halen, and then like just removing the guitar solos. Like, Michael was an artist with his voice. There's like the best way to describe. It was like the best way to describe Michael sometimes. He was like every part of the Buffalo kind of vocalist, where like every part of his voice, he would find ways to utilize it percussively, melodically. He was very thorough, and a lot of the tiny little nuances that made his performances so good. When you hear a guy cover it like that, it's just infuriating because there's so many things Michael's doing vocally that are just completely lost. This is Thriller, yeah. Like even like the the attitude and like the, you know, you could sing it an octave down and still make it sound kind of cool. Cause this is still love at night. Like those little tiny tricks and stuff he does. Like obviously you want to sing it up the octave, but I have neighbors. But anyways, yeah. So side note, it's hard to not acknowledge Michael. Like part of also why I just like diving into his stuff is you're talking about a guy that can't play instruments, can't read or write music, and somehow, just by his ear alone, like he didn't play any instruments at all. He would just sing the instrument parts of every song, and it's something that inspired me to write that way too. Mariah Carey writes that way, and so there's got to be something there, you know. His delivery was so precise. He knew how to like almost like tickle the listener's ear. I can go on for a while about the things that make what he does work as a vocal technician. But then there's Thriller, yeah. God. Or there was I think it was a Human Nature one I heard a while back, where that royally got on my nerves. I thought his shout cover worked well. Like, I'll give credit where it's due. I also think Clayton's, you know, he's a really good producer, of course. But no, Thriller, you better do the Michael part the way it was intended. Like, again, it's like covering Van Halen and then like not doing a guitar solo, and it's like, what? Like, this is a part of what we're coming here for. So, Thriller has been on my to-do list at some point. I don't know what project's going to do it, but I've been bugging, like, Megatronics and Thriller. Obviously, Thrill Killer. That'd be perfect, Thrill Killer. We actually did plan to do Thriller a long time ago live. Yeah, it's... I hate it when that happens. It's close to midnight, yeah. Ugh. There we go. But yeah, there was like a Human Nature one I heard a while back, and like the guy was on the right notes and stuff, but like the delivery just drove me nuts. Cause like there's ways to nail Human Nature. Like I got a cover of it on YouTube, and it's not really a high song of his, but it's like it's how he executes Human Nature that makes it sound good, you know. So instead of like the so tell me why, there you go. So tell me why no, I'm not, it's Human Nature, why does it do me that way? Instead, like I heard this guy, he was doing it. It's like, so tell me why tell him that it's Human Nature, and I was like, what are we doing? I think I that's in my opinion is the best way to illustrate why I don't like a performance. If I can, you know, emulate part of it, it's like that's what I don't like about it. Like all the tiny things. So tell me why. Like there's a way to do Human Nature right. Not so tell like you're reading off a lyric sheet. So tell me why. Like, what is this? Come on, man. Fun fact: the guy that wrote Toto, he actually wrote Human Nature. That's a fun tune. Reaching out across the moon. I forgot the lyrics to it. Fun fact, actually. The Human Nature cover I did for Thrill Killer, that was actually the fastest studio session I've ever done. I was just having a good day during that. I recorded the entire song front to back. Felt really good on that. And I did 3 takes, the entire tune front to back, and I think we took just 1 take and like tiny little bits of like one of the other ones, and Human Nature was done. As opposed to, man, there was one I heard. So tell me why. Like I don't want to. I'm not naming names. I'm not saying if it was in synthwave or not, or rock. I'm not gonna throw anyone under the bus. But man, it's rough. Reaching out. Yeah, that's I got it. This is just like Michael. Yeah. So now you can. Oh yeah. I love The Last Dragon. Oh yeah. The Inside You is on my workout playlist. Yeah. Inside You. He's like the guys. I think they're more up into that one. Willie Hutch, I think, did that one. Oh yeah, in The Glow. Of course, The Last Dragon, but I don't think Willie Hutch wasn't on The Last Dragon though. But yeah, Last Dragon's awesome. I mean, actually, I might have the budget. I'd love to do more covers, but Aztec wants me to do more originals, but we'll see. Right now, I'm focusing my efforts on Thrill Killer and Megatronics. They're my babies. And also they can play live. Like Power Ob, I gotta work on how to do Power Ob live. With my other guys, they're bands, so I actually have like a live set. But yeah, Last Dragon's awesome. Yeah, good stuff. But yeah, I worked on that like annoying bad cover voice because of my sheer just irritation from performances over the years. I was like, what have you done to this song? It's close to me. Now because I did the other key, I gotta remind myself the original key of Thriller. It's something you were looking for the door. You thought it was. Like, there's ways to get it. Like, Michael kind of like, there's certain parts where he sings like through his teeth to get that kind of almost like whiny sound. There's a subset of techniques called vocal cry that kind of make that tone to come out. You thought it was, and someone looks you up into the eyes. I have 2 Careless Whisper covers actually. I have one for Power Ob, synth pop, and I have one for Thrill Killer, which is the rock rendition of it. But yeah, Careless Whisper, I could go on. I could actually, I've taught Careless Whisper to one of my students. There's a lot of moving parts to Careless Whisper. It's usually in my opinion they don't get it right. For instance, opening verse, right? For instance, it's not that high of a song. Like it's high, I guess, relatively high, but it's not as like, it's not like a Michael, like, you know, Dirty Diana song. Wink, wink. Be working on it. But it's like it's more about the character and how you hit the notes to make Careless Whisper right. So, for instance, the opening line, there's stages. Okay, so this is like the bad cover version. Okay, this is like how you hit it and you don't have any emotions. It's like, I feel so unsure. Like that's how I hear some of the covers, and it's like, so first you can use a technique called vocal fry. Vocal fry uses these things called the false folds. They sit above the vocal cords, and they can be used to color notes. And then you do another thing called vocal cord decompression to get some breathiness in there. So for instance, instead of that sound, my versions have more like they kind of almost like growl up into the beginning, where it's like, I feel so, it's like, I feel so unsure as I take your hand and lead you to the dance floor as the music dies. There's ways to have more fun with that. But yeah, most versions I hear, it's like they have the sheet, you know, as the music dies, something in your eyes. It's like, right. Also, my favorite way to do Careless Whisper is there's a live version that George did where he would sing verse 2 early. It's so fun. You can just do it a cappella or with like a little bit of keys. Oh crap. So it's like, yeah, there's just some synth patches in the background. It's like, time can never mend. You milk the pause there, you know. Oh, girl is a whisper of a good friend. He has a music dies. Something in your eyes. Like, go on. Like, close to minus. Like, is that it? No, it's a pain. I gotta get the lyric right, but it's like, as the music dies in your eyes. Because something like that. It's like, pain is all you'll find. Boom, tika. That's like such a fun way to do it live. I've done it that way live. I think I did it one time that way with Thrill Killer. So fun. Just hold on. Pain is all. Pull the mic back. You'll find drums. Boom. But yeah, that's a fun song. Probably the song I've sung the most at karaoke. There's a right and a wrong way. Like, for instance, the bridge. That's actually probably one of the trigger parts. Because it's kind of high. But it's also how you're hitting it. For instance, I like adding an ooh before the bridge begins. It's like, ooh, tonight the music seems so loud. I wish that we could lose this crowd. I gotta hold back a little bit. You know, fun fact. We were considering doing that with Penetrator. Weird Al, I would say actually Weird Al's a little bit underrated vocally. I mean, there's a lot of singers he's covered that are out of his ballpark, but he actually is pretty decent. But yeah, it'd be fun to do sometime. I got hit by the Baltimore Health Department a couple days ago. They were requesting if I did a pro-vaccine COVID-19 parody of Careless Whisper. was like, maybe. I contacted my engineer. I was like, yo, you want to do it? I forgot what they wanted it. It was like, I'm never gonna dance again. The Coven beat have got no rhythm. But like, it was like, I don't know how you can get that in there. Yeah. That was on the topic. Yeah. I did actually. I was on this collection CD with one of my bands years ago, and there was a band on there that I referred to as butt rock. It's number one, it's a funny phrase. Number two, there's a lot of bands that are just a lot of butt rock in our area. So, like, I'm familiar with butt rock. I just kind of can't stand it, and I think it all sounds the same. Are there exceptions? Sure, but for the most part, it all sounds the same. Like, you could label most of it just Disturbed, and you'd be pretty close. Anyways, I'm like listening to this collection, and I hear this one song, and it was just the most like bro, just butt rock song you could think of, like forgot it wasn't like gent, but anyways, this is back when Harambe was like funny. This is a long time ago. Oh yeah, I agree. I actually appreciate him having good original songs because he's not just a parody artist. So I had a song. I decided like I was gonna write a butt rock song about Harambe, and it was really hooky. I was working with this one guitar player who wanted to do a collaboration with me. He just took too long. Throw me up the wall. I don't think he's listening, but Chuck, if you're listening, this is your fault. Completely your fault. Harambe never saw the light of day, thanks to him. But yeah, I composed all the parts, and it was like so just and like at the end of the riff, I snuck in the Bill Nye the Science Guy riff. It's like it's almost like and then I was like this, you know, you got there's like transitions from soft to heavy, and the hook has the phrase. Oh, I'm trying to remember what the heck. Open up. There we go. But yeah, it was this epic song with a really good hook too for Harambe. But it's a little too PG-13 for me to sing here. But it does have the classic phrase that everyone shouted over and over. I managed to fit it all in there in a really good hook. It was my kind of way of being like, yo, I know butt rock. I could do butt rock if I want to, but I know how many more Disturbed songs I can live through. It even made it worse because I was in an argument last night. There was a pro-COVID guy, and I looked at his profile, and he was one of the guys in Shinedown, like one of the big butt rock bands. I don't care if you listen to him. I'm butt rock. It's like someone making fun of a band being glam metal. Yeah, I like some glam metal. But anyways, yeah, he was like a big anti-vax spreadnet kind of guy, and I made a post about that on Facebook. I was like, you know, if I didn't have enough reasons to dislike butt rock, now I have another one. Yeah, sir. Oh, that's more of a Creed joke though. And there are some butt rock musicians who I actually have a lot of respect for. Like, I would consider Alter Bridge kind of like butt rock, but I think the whole band are just fantastic musicians. So I'll acknowledge that, but it still kind of was like butt rock, where like the riffs are not really discernible. It's just riffs for the sake of riffs, you know. It's just heavy to be heavy, not because, like, if for instance, if you took their music and put it like to 8-bit, it really wouldn't do anything for you. That's kind of a way to put it, because I think 8-bit or like chiptunes is one of the most like pure forms of songwriting, because there's no distortion to hide behind. It's just the notes, and so if the composition is good, it'll be good. But yeah, the Shine, apparently I don't know which one it was. I think he deleted his comments, but yeah, last night it was very hard not to call him butt rock in frustration, because there was a thread made by Paul Stanley from Kiss, and he was pro-vaccine. I do Creed Shreds was awesome. Y'all sir. Love y'all say. But yeah, it was Paul Stanley made a big post, you know, supporting the vaccines, and then the Shinedown butt rock guy shows up, and he's like, they don't work, yeah, yeehaw, or whatever. I don't know. Click, click, boom, yeah. That's click? Are those guys click, click, boom, or is it like the other? Is that the Disturbed guy, or are they Headstrong? Are they different songs? Like I'm not sure. Is Headstrong the same song? Like Headstrong to take you on, back on, and back on the guys like click, click, boom, it's the same too. Is butt rock? Is that? Oh, is that C? I don't. Are they different bands? They can't be different bands. I do that sometimes. Like if someone's like, if I detect like they like butt rock and they're an anti-vaxxer, it's like, okay, cool. Now I'm just gonna throw all the names of those bands into a hat and deliberately mix them up, because at this point they don't want to have a discussion with me. So I'm just gonna get them irritated. So I'll say stuff like, dude, I'm like, dude, I love dude, I love the Disturbed guy, dude. I love Click Click Boom. Like, that's not Disturbed. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's Disturbed's best album. Disturbed's like one of my favorite singers. Like, Disturbed's a really good vocalist. He's the guy that was like, you know, F you, won't do what you told me. That guy. Like, the more you do it, the more you can just feel the rage from the screen. Yeah, that's like the guy. He's like, he has a song called F You Dad. Yeah. I don't know. I just, they start becoming just this mixture for me, man. All these brown, you know, bland or black colors and stuff. Probably something involving dudes standing in front of a brick wall. Maybe an industrial area, like a brewery or something to stand in. I mean, again, I don't have a problem with it. Just, I lived through it. I was more open-minded before I became a Baltimore musician. And then I started playing with those bands for years, and it was the same stuff every time, but they thought they were the coolest stuff in the world. And my patience eventually ran thin. It's kind of like a lot of black and death metal bands. I was much more open-minded to vocal fry vocalists. There is technique to it, but the more I played shows and death metal bands and like hardcore bands or blank core bands or whatever would open for us, we kept seeing our crowds like leaving, and they're like, "Oh man, we just can't sit through this." And it's like, eventually I got so irritated with it, I started like deliberately using boomer terms just to like spite them. Because I've seen arguments for like, I remember there was one show I played, this band, I'm not gonna say their name, but I found out that they were named after a kind of bottle of water. I couldn't believe it. But remember, they were just like the biggest jerks. They took up the whole green room, and they brought the least people. That really got my nerves. So the green room at this venue of ours just completely, they just did not let anyone in. They had to have it. It was their big moment. This. Oh yeah, Patricia awesome. And I remember like they were never present for any other band, and we were the guys bringing like all the people for them. Like we brought, you know, we sold all the tickets. We really, you know, hustled for this event. And I remember in the background I overheard like their quote unquote vocalist was like going on about how he referred to real like singing as quote unquote clean vocals, which really gets my nerves because it implies that there's a comparison in terms of depth between actual like singing and vocal fry stuff, which again, there's technique to it, sure, but that's like mastering like being like doing BMX, or like that's like having like a guy that's just riding around on a bicycle versus another dude who does like BMX, you know, professionally and stuff. Like there's technique to it, yeah, but once you start getting into like what this guy was doing, where he's like backstage like going mouthing off about, oh yeah, harsh vocals, overdrive, or whatever he's calling it, is more impressive than clean singing. And it was just kind of like, I was so close. Like, that was where I drew the line with this guy. I'm like, dude, just, you need to get over yourself. You brought 0 people. We've done all the work. We busted our butt. So eventually we all made an agreement. We were like, dude, when these guys hit the stage, we're gonna tell our fans, get out of here, just leave. Like, I forgot what else they did, but like, it was obvious they didn't care about any of the bands, and I guess they expected us to just bring all the people for them. And so enough nights like that, I just was done. I was like, that does it. So yeah, we remember there was photos. I remember there was a photo I took. It was kind of catty, but this is like 10 years ago now, over actually. And there's a shot I posted on Facebook, and I made sure to get to the back of the venue because a lot of times when a band has like a big debut and like not enough people show up, they'll take a shot of just the band, like a zooming shot to like hide the lack of a crowd. Everyone's guilty of doing it, but these guys, they had more crew they had paid for photos than they had a crowd. Like, that's how weird it was. Like, I don't think they spent a single day trying to sell tickets to their own show. And so I made a point to like back up at the back of the venue, like take a photo. It's like, dude, these guys are killing it today. I tagged them and stuff because they're just like, dude, like if you were cool with us, you know, and not like acted like no one else existed when we were bringing you a packed house, like, we would have probably been, you know, cool about it, but like, they were complete divas all night long. So I think that was probably one of my big moments where I just felt like I kind of snapped when it came to harsh vocals, was those dudes. It was probably the most pretentious thing I've ever seen as a vocal. No, there's other ones. Okay, I take it back. I've seen more pretentious singers. The worst was this guy in the music community. I won't name his name, but half of you guys know him. it was weird because I'll admit, you know, a lot of times I'll probably have a bit too much of an inflated sense of self-importance. I think most people do as a musician, and I'm no exception. But this guy, man, he was a whole other animal. Our first argument was when I was knee deep in probably my busiest rock opera season of my career, which was, I think, 2015, 2014. I had something stupid like 20 some shows inside of 2 months. Like I was constantly gigging. And I get this angry message from this dude because I'm not attending. Oh, it's so fun. I'm not attending his show apparently. Like it's my job and everyone else's job to come to his shows because that's apparent. I didn't know that. It's definitely not how I treat my fans. If you guys want to come to my show, I hope you come because you want to, and if you don't, that's okay too because you don't need music. If you come, you're doing me a favor. You know, like I'm gonna perform regardless. But like this guy, I remember I told him, I was like, dude, you don't owe me your time. I don't owe you, I don't owe you my time. Like I couldn't believe him in this argument because this guy, I think he was in his early 40s and maybe late 30s, and at this time, I think I'm like 24, 23 maybe. I think it was 23. No, it was 24. And so I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the? This is the most insane thing I've ever heard. It's from a vocalist. Like, and I asked him, I was like, dude, okay, well, if you want to play it that way, I've had all these shows. You know, where are you at mine? He's like, oh, those aren't for the music scene. And I'm like, oh. I really love to see it one, man. If you can make it, it'd be a giant, you know, I very much appreciate it. And I will never not appreciate it for anyone that comes to my shows. You guys are doing me a massive favor supporting something I love to do, and as a result, I will give it my absolute best. That is the number one thing I'm concerned about on stage. I'm always, in my back of mind, I'm like, you know, is this entertaining enough? Is this entertaining enough? Am I doing a good enough job? That's usually what's going on in my head when I'm performing. But yeah, dude, like that guy, yeah, like this guy was, he was so deluded. He was like telling me, "Oh yeah, but your stuff isn't for the music scene." And I'm like, "Okay, so wait, so my material's not for not part of the music community because you said so, but yours is." So it's just like, what the heck? Banky's making a reference to this guy I'm talking about. But yeah, I remember like I had a band practice recently, right? And we were talking about the guy, one of our new members. And Thrill Killer, and I remember like Robbie walked in, and Robbie Dark Rob, and I was like, he was like, "Who are you talking about?" And I was like, "All right, we're gonna play a game. I'm not gonna say who it is, but who is the most universally disliked musician you know?" And all of a sudden, boom, his name came up. I was like, "There it is. Told you." He was like, it was immediate agreement. It was like, this guy, dude. And it's funny because he apologized for all that eventually, and I believed him, and I took it seriously, and so I just, as far as I was concerned, my hands were clean. We're cool. But then I watched him like implode with the rest of the music community. Like he just started getting fight after fight after fight. And it wasn't like a really like any legitimate ones. It was like he would do really like this kind of crummy things. And it was oh, thanks, man. But yeah, it was I remember I watched like all these bands just keep either kicking him out or like ending because he was into this stuff. And you know, sure, you gotta spend some time to find the right musicians to work with. Like it took me a while too, because there's a lot of people. Yeah, she's making a reference to our boy I'm talking about. May or may not be. But yeah, so like I get it. You know, bands are messy, they're political. You know, it becomes a headache. However, this guy it was clearly him. Like it was obviously him with all these bands falling apart constantly. And I just kind of ignored it. You know, I was like, listen, as long as he and I are cool, I'm not going to jump in. Like, I would see like tons of people just ragging on him. And they would be, I would be down. I'd be like, these guys are right. Like what he did, you know, in this instance, whatever is terrible. And he deserves this, but I wouldn't say it. I'm like, oh yeah, well, you know, him and I are cool, you know, whatever. And then, eventually I started talking to his exes. And there was a lot of weird stuff going on with that too, with the two of them. I'm not going to get into specifics, but yeah, it was just a lot of unscrupulous stuff. Spanky knows some of it, and so I became friends with her. You know, nothing was really happening after they broke up. I just, you know, I don't know. I viewed her as a really cool friend of mine. That's kind of how I kept it, and her and I are still friends. But like she revealed, it was funny when we were hanging out. We went to coffee one time, and she was like, you know, so and so, he still really hates you. Because initially I was like, he came up, and I'm like, oh well, you know, he apologized to me, so I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna officially, I'm not gonna say anything negative because you know he was cool with me, so that's how I'm gonna keep it. And he was like, oh no, he's hated you the whole time, and I'm like, really? Like, I should be angry, but I was. It was kind of like I'm a cat, and like they just dropped a ball of yarn in front of me. I got curious. I'm like, you know, I would be if he's gonna hate me, then I might as well give him a reason to hate me. Like, this is gonna be interesting. Like I couldn't help it. Like I just lit up like a Christmas tree. I was like, oh dude, heck yeah. Well, I guess that means I hate him too. All right, let's round two. Let's go. And that's kind of I lit up. Like so like the next few times he got brought up, I'm like, well, he officially hates me, so hey, yeah, screw that guy. Like I'm sure it bugged him. Yeah, if I say any more specifics, I don't want to give anybody away. But yeah, it was fun. It was like, why? Like I thought we were cool. I made a point for like years. Whenever I saw people talking about him, and it was happen often, it'd be like, well, he apologized to me, so keep it there. Yeah, man. Hey, I hope you had fun. I'm trying to like I don't know share anecdotes, I guess, of my years of music, and hopefully they come across as entertaining. This was just a fascinating topic that came up. But thanks so much for swinging by, and thanks for your support, man. I appreciate it. Stay safe out there. Yeah, that guy, man, what a weirdo. He's almost like you're watching like a kid's cartoon, and this is like a caricature, our caricature of what a diva vocalist is, and that's who he is. Like that's how bizarre his misadventures were. And it's always the case of like, this is what you're not supposed to do. Like again, I know there's musicians out there that aren't very fond of me. I like to over the years, I'm happy to say that I'm pretty confident that number has diminished significantly. I've definitely chilled out. But for instance, something like the guy from earlier, the anti-vax guy, like I was just like, you know, I'm trying to make sure I have a good fan base, and you know they know they're appreciated and stuff. But that instance was like, no, I think I'm okay to lose this fan. Like I think this one I'm okay with because he's not listening. He's not having an honest debate about it. He just wants to spout his anti-vax nonsense. I'm okay. You know, I want to do what I can to stop this pandemic. In fact, I remember I was at the store for this. Yeah. We've had some strange episodes. Absolutely. One actually almost made it on the video. Yes. One of the stranger ones was actually the last show, or the second to last show before the pandemic. There was this. We were doing a interview, and you actually can find this. Is Michael Nagy, cool guy. He interviewed us outside of the Voltage Lounge. Was it the Voltage Lounge? Oh no, Vortex. Sorry, Vortex in Pennsylvania. And we were doing this fun interview about the band, and all of a sudden, this dude walks out of the venue just pissed. He just yelling. I forgot what he was yelling about, but he just, you know, the kind of like trying to walk around like you have gorilla arms, that kind of thing, like doing all that. Like it was this close to grunting. Like, I forgot what he looked like. I think he might be like I think he was like a bald white dude. Whatever. Unfortunately, he's not in the video, I don't think. But like, he had the whole like kind of thing going on. And I remember he was yelling and screaming about something as we were setting up the interview. Again, we're in the tour van, and he then starts going for the handle, and I'm like sizing the dude up. I'm thinking like, okay, the three of us, yeah, we got this guy. Like this, I don't know what he's doing. You know, maybe he's just got like a death wish, but he's not winning. There's three of us in this van, and like, actually, no, there's four of us. That's right. I was like sizing up, like, what the heck? There's four of us here. He's not going to win. But I was like, what the heck? Like, this guy was like yanking on the door handle, and it was just like, what? So that was a fun one. But that happened moments before this. It was one of our bigger YouTube videos, actually. If you look at Megatronics, you'll probably find that interview. But that was like seconds after the dude went for the handle and started trying to get in and stuff. And it's like, all right, man, your funeral. You might want to get away from the car. But yeah, that was a fun one. I know there's other ones. I did meet, or I bumped into a major competitive fighting game player, and he was yeah, he was a little weird. That was one of our shows we did. Thrill Killer had a couple weird shows here and there. I think going back to the last tour we did, we had to cancel one show because the power in the venue we were headed to got pulled because of it. They didn't pay the power bill. That was weird. There was one that they did not supply us with a PA system, and then they tried to have a guy yell at us because we were supposed to have had a PA system, but then I brought up the emails from the owner who did not, and he didn't say anything about that. And then they tried to bring us a PA, like a head, or a system, and instead, after we got everything set up, we were doing sound for free. They then have this other piece of trash who works there start yelling at our guitar player who's running sound for free for the other band, that we were too noisy in a big rock venue. This is a rock venue we were playing. At that point, once I saw him like yelling at my guitar player, that's when I immediately canceled the show. I was like, nope, we're not doing this. You guys, this is a complete mess. It's a garbage venue. I'll never be back to ever again. And that was the last Thrill Killer tour we did. We did other fun dates though. There were good nights in that one. Specifically Miami. Miami was an absolute treat. I had a blast playing then. We had a flat tire in Chicago. That was funny because the spare we had, it was bent, and so the band kept taking turns hitting the tire with a wrench. And eventually I got it, and I started like, hitting it and stuff, and after enough sparking, I was able to bang it into place, and it was able to survive the trip from Chicago to Ohio, and then we had to go to Walmart and get a new tire. But yeah, that was an interesting night. The Chicago show itself was like okay, but yeah, remember like Dark Rob like left as we were taking turns to get pizza and like brought it all back to, here you go guys. But we weren't sure if we were gonna be stuck in Chicago for all night. It was like midnight or something like that at that point. It was getting pretty late. Now there's a lot of show dates, like local shows have had some weird stuff happen on. Also a lot of rock operas have. Yeah, I got a lot of fun rock opera stories. Almost anything you could think it could go wrong in a rock opera, and you have to basically adapt. Had a lot of weird nights, but we've made it work. The most terrifying still being the first of my symphony performances. That was weird. I'm immensely proud of doing it, and it worked out great, but like, I think there were a couple rock operas where like, back when I got into voice, I obsessed to become the best singer possible. And so my whole thing was pushing limits. Like I wanted to figure out what else I could do to get the most of my voice and stuff. And so I always worked on new ways to pull the most crazy stuff off. And thankfully, I found a place for that in rock operas. And I got asked to do, and I tell the story a lot, but in case you haven't heard, it's one of my favorites. So I did a show in 2012, my first one, Valhalla, and that was I guess it's like a Viking-themed power metal opera about the Ragnarok, essentially. And I played. Yeah, I knew I glitched the game. Look at that. Look at the shotgun. The glitch. But anyways, so I played the main character in that one, and I reprised his role in 2014. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, so I reprised his role for this event the PNC Bank had put together with the Baltimore Rock Opera Society and the Concert Artists of Baltimore. And so basically what that meant was the Concert Artists of Baltimore is one of the two premier symphonies of Baltimore. And they wanted us to combine the top songs from the Baltimore Rock Opera Society, or you can call them the Bros, with the symphony and the opera choir they had. And so this was like a mega high stakes kind of thing. And so I got an email and like, hey Rob, do you want to do the finale for this event? We're calling it Convergence Maximus. I was like, yeah, dude, it sounds fun. You got a whole symphony. I'm not familiar with TYR. The closest thing I'm familiar with was like the Kiss Symphony, I guess. But basically, yeah, we did. What the? But yeah. So I had to fill in for one of the other actors. He couldn't do it, and his performance from his opera. So I filled in for that guy. Rehearsals went fine, like at least for that song. It wasn't necessarily anything too crazy, so I was okay with that. Symphony did fine. You know, we were all on the same page. Then we did my number from Valhalla, and for dress rehearsal, and everything's off. Like nothing's on time. And I think it's because it was their first time doing the arrangement. Like no one was on the same beat, and I only had about 10 seconds to rehearse with them. And then at that point, they just got up and left. And I remember, I'm pretty nervous, because I'm like, I wanted to have a full rehearsal of my final number, because I didn't even know my cue very well. Like I had to go up in the middle of Beethoven's Ninth for this, and Beethoven's Ninth's quite a repetitive opera number, and so I had to wing a lot of this. Because the next time I got to see those guys was opening night, and this entire opera had sold out every event. Like, that's the thing with Bros shows; these sell out all the time. I can't think of any that did not. Like Valhalla had sold everything out. We had a giant 400-seat theater. That we oversold that place. We hit I think we hit significantly over the 400 mark on that one. Oh my god. There we go. So yeah, so with that number, I basically had to wing the whole thing. Like I had like a laser guitar sword in my hand and stuff. So like I can't sneak up. Oh, cool. I think I've heard of them, but I haven't listened to them. But yeah, so like I had to basically on the spot, just sweating bullets, holding this crazy laser guitar sword, just figure it out. It's not. My job's not also just to sing the song. I got to rabble-rouse this crowd, because understandably, a lot of the actors, they're kind of scared up there. It's a full symphony. Like, what do you do? So that was pretty tense. But it's funny enough, 2 years later, I got asked to do it again with at the Baltimore War Memorial, which was a bigger venue than the last one we did. There we go. And thankfully, we had more time to rehearse for that, and we were fine. But here we go. Well, let me get rid of these guys first. Okay. So yeah, that was both of those I'm incredibly proud of. I'm not sure if I'm intending to, but I'm not sure if I actually will ever do an event crazier than Convergence Maximus. We had giant projected walls of fire behind me, tons of crazy stuff going on. But yeah, that was probably the single scariest moment I ever had, because nobody was right. We needed time, we needed time to rehearse. But no, we gotta work. We got working. There's so many other ones too. Like I got tons of other fun ones. I performed the Bicentennial of Baltimore in 2015. Whenever the Bicentennial of Baltimore, basically the 200th anniversary of Baltimore. And was it 2018? No, it wasn't 2018. No, it was 2016. Yeah. It was like 5,000 people. And I was doing 1814, which was a rock opera about the Battle of Baltimore. And I played the villain, the evil Admiral Coburn. Or it's spelled Cockburn, so we call him Cockburn. My character was based off Rob Halford on that one. And usually the British lose at the end of the show after this giant vocal battle between myself and the Americans. And instead, they had to cut the power actually a bit early, some sort of regulation. And actually, fun fact: the band before us was the governor's band, Governor O'Malley, and he was not happy with what happened. He was not thrilled. So funny enough, when the power got cut, it was after I had already made my first few victories against the Americans. So in the Bicentennial of Baltimore, the British won. It was pretty fun. But yeah, playing that bad guy was a tremendous amount of fun. I love playing bad guys. I had some fun stories during Prog Metal Sweeney Todd. That was a heck of a run. I had a blast doing that. We got 2 Helen Hayes nominations. We won, I think, one of them. Or I forgot how many we won for that. But yeah, we actually were in direct contact with Sondheim, Stephen Sondheim, for that. That was fun. I've had... Oh yeah, during 90 Rock All-Star Jam, it's basically these giant events put on by the largest rock station in the area. They would take the top musicians in different bands, and we get together to do supergroup performances of like covers, typically for charity. And there's a clip on my Instagram of when I was doing an all-star performance of Whitesnake's "Here I Go Again." Apparently he did, not the current one, but the last one. Yeah, Governor Hogan does not have a band as far as I'm aware. But yeah, O'Malley did. Yeah, I think it was like some sort of like jazz band. But yeah, we played a show with him. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Now we're talking. Oh, right. It was, okay, 1814. The first official night of 1814. I was noticing the crowd was cheering me a bit too much, and I'm the villain, you know. So I'm like, this can't happen. We gotta fix that. And so, I remember I got on the microphone. This is around the time I was dating this one girl who, was Catholic, and she had very Catholic parents. I did not know they were at this show. I learned the hard way after. They were actually quite cool about it, but it was embarrassing. So anyways, so I thought to myself, okay, this crowd's cheering too much, you know, they gotta hate me. And so I got on the microphone during one of the breaks in my second song. And so like it was a kind of guitar section. So I got on the mic and I had this big red coat on, you know, I've got the Admiral kind of hat on. And I got the half stand, like a Freddie Mercury half stand for the mic, but it's got an attached Union Jack to it. And I get on the mic and I'm like, "Filthy Yankees!" And back on my head, I'm like, "This is gonna be fun." I was like, I was like, "Here's your American dream." Give the middle finger, and the crowd just all of a sudden starts turning into boos, and it was like, "Yes." I was trying to invoke '80s wrestler bad guys in that one. But I remember like there's a recording somewhere. I gotta look at my old hard drives. But there's totally a recording of that performance, and you hear the booing on the audio from the board, and at the end of it, you hear a guy yell "F that guy," and I think they were engaging me the right way. It was kind of like, you know, they knew it was a bit, and so they're playing up that they're angry at me. And it was really fun that we were kind of doing that back and forth. But my fellow crew, the cast, did not know I was doing that, and so they were backstage. They're just hearing this booing going on, and I walked backstage. I got my half stand, I'm like twirling it around. And or my girlfriend's like, "What did you do?" You know, her eyes are all wide, and I like look around at cast and like, my job. Anyways, that after that, I think that was the first time her mom and dad saw me perform. I was like, "Oh boy, here's your," I don't even know what that means. "Here's your American dream." Another thing I did, well, actually during the Governor's show, I had to change it, make it more PG. Instead, I was like, "Filthy Yankees, I'm going to enjoy my new backyard." That's how I got away with doing the finger. Yeah, I thought that was a blunt way. I was like, we need to set the tone here. Yeah, you don't like me. Yeah, we don't like me, guys. Yeah, it was fun. Like, what have you done? You guys are stubborn. I have other stories about over my years. Oh yeah, I had a audio problem, which I was actually proud of. I blew up my microphone in Valhalla, a mic pack. I'm not sure if it was me that did it or not, but it definitely died. And that's not the first time it's happened. Like little hand mic set like that. My character had a magical voice, and so I would deliver that through high notes and stuff, like the way I was vocalizing. I gotta get these really good. Okay, I can't get them. Okay. I was very proud of that because they had to give me a handheld mic for the end of it because I was used to that. You know, when you're a rock guy, you get more accustomed to having a microphone, and part of the reason why is the microphone can actually become one of your best friends. The way it works is, hold on, you ready? So, neck tension is a big problem with rock singers. A lot of times when we go for high notes, our neck likes to extend up like this. You know, it's going to have voice. It gets very tight. Anyways, so there we are. So that being said, the microphone acts kind of like, I don't know. I found this recently. The mic kind of stabilizes the jaw. So for instance, if I'm singing, and my mic, let's make this a microphone. So if I'm using a headset, a lot of that stuff kind of like creeps in like this. But with a mic, you can kind of stabilize your jaw because you have to keep it locked on this the whole time. So when I'm singing, my torso will move. You know, like you can see the torso move. So if I go back for a high note, this will happen, but not this. And that'll mess your voice set pretty bad. And so I felt kind of close at home that at the end of Valhalla, I got to use handheld mic, much to the stage manager's dismay. She was like, "This is a theater show. You don't get one of those." But I indeed did for the final night. We did an encore of Iron Maiden's The Trooper. That was fun. They're a great crowd. But yeah, it's actually, depressingly enough, the 10-year anniversary of Valhalla is happening in May. I can't believe it's been 10 years since that show. I would love to do it one more time. I mean, they've heard me say this ad nauseum. I would love to do it one more time. It's still my all-time favorite opera. I did. I don't play any instruments. I've only played instruments on stage like 3 times. And not very much. I play a little bit of keyboards in Thrill Killer. I play the stuff that I wrote. But I do not, and I play keyboards to teach vocals. But outside of that, I don't consider myself much of a keyboard player. I compose some stuff sometimes on keys. About it. I mean covers, or we mean tributes? Like a tribute. Oh, I killed these guys, right? Is that different than a cover? I know the cover bands and tribute bands are a little different. I've done a lot of covers over the years, but I mean, like make a song and make it a tribute to somebody else. In that regard, I wrote a few songs. I wrote one song about my friend that pretty good musician that had passed away. I was hanging out with, I was seeing him during hospice. That's when a lot of the parts of the song hit me. But I dedicated that album to him. He was one of my first students. A very good guy named Patrick Kavanaugh. Yeah, actually, I had the distinct pleasure of performing alongside him on a few rock operas. That is probably one of the most satisfying things I can do as a coach, is to share the stage with a student. It is immense. It's one of those prideful things I've done, is having someone that you've taught join you in an opera. But yeah, he kicked butt. So yeah, the song "Our Reason" is about him, and the album "Showdown" is dedicated to him. Alright, you one done. Oh, I'm glad you feel that way. He was an excellent guy. Great musician, great friend. Fantastic vocalist. One of the few legitimately rare tenors I work with. But you know, speaking of excellent vocalists I've had the pleasure of working with, Jillian has a very impressive boyfriend, a vocalist, Lucas. I'm not sure if Jillian fell asleep. It is kind of late. I'm just trying to get a rise out of her. But yeah, I've always wanted to do another performance. I did Jesus Christ Superstar a while back, and I was supposed to do it alongside my first coach. My first coach toured in the national tours of it, and I was supposed to perform a lot like opposite him for a special like mega rock version of it, and instead there was this other theater company that was doing their own little production of it, and they bugged our company to cancel it because they were afraid it was going to cut their sales, which really drove at the wall because 99.999% of people that do Jesus Christ Superstar do not get the vocals correct. They just don't. And it is enraging because I always hear a lot of singers, when a singer doesn't act very well, a lot of times they get trashed. Where if an actor doesn't sing very well, one, we have the tools to hide the fact they're not very good at it. Number two, most average Joes don't know what they're listening for, and they give them a pass. Like, for instance, I got people got mad at me because Andrew Garfield had done some singing on a movie, and I said I'd like to hear it without all the processing, post-production. It was like, wow, he learned to be a good singer in no time flat. He did a great job. And it was like, you know, I've been in the studio long enough where I can hear like the kind of trickery they were using on him, and I said like I'd like to hear it without the tuning, you know, not even just tuning, but the editing. And boy, they were unhappy with me. But anyways, after doing that, I always had a policy of like most theater, that's where it's spelled, you know, R-E at the end, not E-R, theater or whatever. They always act like, well, a good actor can get around any vocal line. Not Superstar. Superstar, you gotta be able to rip those high notes out. It's tough stuff. Judas and Jesus particularly. Oh, Nas is pretty hard too. But mainly Judas and Jesus. Those two are tough. So I knew the company, like I was just like, so great. So now I have to cancel this dream cast we put together, like top rock singers in the area. My old coach opposite me. Like, I was so excited for this event. I was beyond stoked. And anyways, so that has been on ice for about 4 years now, and that really bugged me. I'd love to work with that guy one more time, or one time. I just wanted to show him, because I worked with him for my first 2 years of being a singer, and then my other 4 years of training were with this opera coach named Joy Green. Phenomenal. Oh my god. But anyways, I wanted to show I wanted to show my old coach, you know, what I could do now, you know? Like it was my way of showing this guy, like, you know, I've come a long way, and I wanted to see how it's one thing to, you know, have him say he did a good job. Another thing to perform opposite this guy. He was like a legend in our community. And as I started kind of making my own mark in the rock opera area, his name came up a lot. People were like, yo, you know, Larry Friedman is like the one guy that does the kind of stuff you're doing, and it's like, it's funny you say that. Like, I used to study him or work with him. Oh god, I have one bullet. That's on my bucket list. Perform opposite him. already. Pretty Dukes. We're gonna do it the hard way. What the? So yeah, Vahella again, superstar opposite my coach. Those are definitely things I want to do. I guess Maximus again would be sick. But that's just some. I gotta think more about it, but I've seen some fun stuff. It's definitely been an interesting 10 years. We're almost 15, God. Getting up there. God, no. There we go. In some ways, you know, like, I guess so, yeah. I was joking about taking the Vader line, you know. Now the circle is complete. Well, part of what was interesting, too, was, that mentioned, the guy earlier, Lucas has mentioned, is phenomenal tenor. He was supposed to be on as a Nas, which was also, again, a demanding role. And so I would have been really excited to like work with him and help him develop his performance of Anas. But I have this brilliant student I was working with, and then me, and then my coach, and it would just be this cool kind of like, I guess in terms of teaching, also kind of a lineage of singers that do similar stuff. So yeah, I'd love to do that. But yeah, I wanted to see, you know, I want to know how I'd do. I was supposed to perform with him in 2014, but he had to pack out, unfortunately. But that was something I was very excited for. Was the superstar across him. Whoa, watch it. But yeah, it'd be do the very thing, you know. When I left you, I was but the learner, and now I am the master. But no, joking aside, it would be for me, not for anybody else. Just to know how I do. I think I would do quite well. When I left his teaching, I had some skills, but not like what I developed after working with. I worked on tons of more advanced stuff. He had a couple things that I felt kind of came to him a little more naturally that I didn't have, and I had to really bust my butt to get to those kind of notes he was hitting. Hate that. Get away from me! Damn it! I hate when they take more than one punch. That's the worst. RNG, oh man! Just 1 second. Just one. Oh, wait, Doomguy, come on. There we go. All right, yeah, you did a hydrate earlier. Let me go get my drink. Let me go get my charger. Oh. It's weird when I get like an email. It's like, you're now live on YouTube. Well, I hope I would be. I don't know why you tell me I'm live. Wouldn't I be the first guy to know? Guess it's... Oh, I have to get some of my stuff. I'm gonna buy myself a new laptop for streaming too. I want to go full 1080p. I gotta figure that out. I want to get a computer that I can record with, that's like silent, but also has the power to do like live stream. Come on, guys, you got it. Oh, poor buddy. Oh, this is so fun. I have to look into one of those. I prefer to have a laptop if possible, because I got to bring this over to the studio. Oh, I didn't get the Plaza rifle. Oh, it's over here. Duh. I gotta do one of those. I mean, I should get a... I don't know. Maybe I'll get a desktop. I should get both. Because I'm on a laptop right now. Plaza rifles. The Powell's. What the... Wait, it glitched? What the... That's the button! What the hell? Oh, screw you too, then. That's the button for the plasma rifle. No wonder I didn't get it. Glitched again. Nope. Hope you're taking notes, Spanky. Starting to get into, Oh, I got a tag. Hold on. Yeah, yeah, you definitely are. I was commenting on a health department post, and I said, I said months ago I saw something to the effect of someone saying it seemed legitimate. It said, there's something. It was like a Georgia. I think it was like a post in Georgia. It was like some sort of like Georgia health thing where people were, it was like a group on Facebook or something. And it was like, there's something going around lately, and it seems to only be targeting those people who are unvaccinated. Like there was like a conspiracy thing, like, oh yeah, now it's only killing the unvaccinated. I wonder what they are up to now. Almost as if getting vaccinated will protect you from the thing that we made the vaccine for. Funny how that works out, you know? I keep forgetting about this part. Let me check the audio real quick. Trying to live it up more for you guys. Execution style on it. Crap. I don't know, a plasma rifle. Ow. Let's check for 1 second. Ow. There's a backpack over here I gotta get. Sorry about that. My head. Go ahead. Hey. I'm gonna check that out. I kind of stopped at Halo 2, but also, is it gonna be what system is it for now? I've kind of lost count on the. Oh, cool. All right. Good. Isn't Halo owned by Microsoft though? Or are you talking about Windows and Xbox? I did? Wait. 1, 2. Boy. Huh? I'm not. I wasn't talking. Weird. Oh, right. Good and bad. Was that Steve Vai? Was he do that? Ah, movies. Do a life post. With this part, this is where I die. Wall looks weird. Hey, what's going on? Hey, hey Jay, how you doing? Alright, thanks a lot. Not bad. Just having a pretty laid back stream before I do some training. Oh, thanks so much. I just saw that. Oh, babe, man. You and I go back. We've been friends for forever at this point. Oh no. Come on out. Oh shit. Damn it. Ah. Same guy again. I'm gonna play Doom 2 now. I hesitate for 1 second. Dang, it hurt. No. Okay. Pretty good. Whew. Smooth run. That was a good one. That's probably one of my smoothest underhauls I've done so far. Okay. That'll be pretty smooth. Another glitch? Oh, that's weird. Oh, cool. Good. Flipped off. Whoops. Painful mistake. Plus 12. In a little bit, I'm probably gonna head off so I can go to the gym. Yeah, it was hard at first, but now I like it. More entertaining. Yeah. Yeah. A little bit. It's exactly what it says it is. Got him. Oops, I forgot. Oh, crap. You survived? Did you? Damn. Ah, yes. Spanky remembers this one. I'll let him fight. Okay. Almost. we wait? Welcome back. Oh, right. I gotta wrap it up shortly. Tired. Tired. Damn it. I was trying to jump into the acid, not right on top of him. Whatever. Could be worse. That was the manly way to beat it. Just jumped right into all of them. Ah! Get lost. Oh god, I forgot to switch. Always a fun part of the level right there. Actually, I won't. Ow. Ooh, I telestomped him. Ooh. Spanky, you're familiar with what a telestomp is? I just did it. Basically, if someone goes in a teleporter and you then go in the same exact teleporter they are and they're occupying the same space, you will teleport into them, crushing them into blood. Telestomp. One of the more enjoyable ways to kill an opponent. Do shotgun this time. They're gonna do just double barrel and beat them. That was pretty good. So good. I think I got tagged one time by the Arachnotron. Alright guys, I'm gonna go head on here. Just made a little short mini stream here. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Just wanted to get up to bed. I think Dead Simple's a good spot on Ultraviolence to end tonight. Nice high note to finish the night on. That being said, I'll try to do more of these. Thanks so much for swinging by.